Welcome back to Talkin Shop with ShopSabre. I'm Brandon. Got the whole gang here. Travis, Nick, Chad, Kai. Hey, Kai. No Jose still. He'll be back next week. Maybe.
What if he just doesn't come back?
What if he doesn't? That'd be sad. That'd be not cool. He could, though. It's his choice.
He won't.
His choice.
His choice.
He'd miss me too much.
That orange Gatorade looks really delicious right now. I'm not going to lie to you.
It's Powerade.
Oh, it's not as delicious anymore.
Very much better than Gatorade.
Gatorade.
Bro.
Looks like it's a no sugar one too, so probably even worse.
It's terrible. It's zero sugar.
I'm telling you, if you try a regular one,
That's
next to
funny.
Zero sugar, the zero
I could just
sugar
tell by the
taste.
color of it.
That's funny. You called and he turns the label around. It says zero in big letters.
The zero sugar one tastes 100 times better.
No way. 0% better.
I'd rather rot my teeth out with sugar.
Give me my cavities. Take that away from me. Who are you to tell me? What'd you guys do this weekend? Anything fun? Chad went golfing.
I think Nick probably had the funnest weekend.
Yeah, where would you go, Nick? Why don't you tell everybody?
Just took a quick little road trip out to the middle of nowhere, Wisconsin, to House on the Rock, and then decided to drive to Chicago after for a night.
Yeah?
Saw
Did you
some
see the
cool
big
stuff.
bean?
Yeah, but it's under construction. They're putting new concrete on it, so it's all fenced off. We couldn't see it anyway.
So you couldn't
See what?
The bean.
Oh, that big giant metal thing that shows the reflection
like
of
a
everything. Yeah,
Chrome bean.
Yeah, I've heard it.
People take their pictures like duck face in the
You
bean.
can walk under it, and it just
Yeah.
it's- yeah.
I guess I
I'll
must
show you
have
a
missed
picture
that.
later.
Oh.
House on the Rock was really sweet though.
Was it?
It's like one of those places that I would tell everybody to go and see.
Is it a house on a rock?
It is, and then it's got like this long infinity room that goes forever.
Infinity?
Yeah, it looks like you're just gonna walk for miles. And I took about 8 steps on it. I'm like, this is way too high. I'm not going any further.
That's right.
I would no longer go there as well.
So the kids ran out to the end, and I just stood back. And
So it didn't go on forever.
no, it just looks like it does. But they made it.
Real letdown.
It's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, so we spent half the day there, and then we drove to Chicago.
Tell
and
everybody the story about your daughter and the pedal taxi.
what part of it?
The part where she got out and told the guy off.
Yeah, the fact that it was like we were just gonna take one of those pedal bikes back. You know, they have like the seats on the back and they take you around, whatever. And the guy's
It's like the pedal taxi, the
yeah,
bike taxi.
Yeah, we told him where we wanted to go, and he's like, "Okay, yeah, we can get you there. It'll be $75." And Stella instantly jumped off of it, and she's like, "That's ridiculous. We're not spending that much money for a ride on a bike." I'm like, "Get your ass back on it." Yes, we are. We're in Chicago. It'll be fun. And she was like, she was
mind
super
you,
mad.
how old's your daughter?
She's 10.
So for everybody listening who thought she was 16 and giving him she was 10 years old and making sure the guy knew his price was ridiculous.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then we did it anyways. And the whole time she was taking videos of the city and herself doing duck lips, like you said, probably sending pictures to her friends. But no, it was fun. It was good.
That's funny.
Did she think it was worth it when it was done?
Probably not. But I think she knew after I told her to just get on and enjoy the ride that she didn't need to argue about it anymore. It was like for the experience, man. Like, yeah, it was ridiculous to pay that much money to go like 6 blocks. And the worst part about it, the guy wasn't even pedaling the damn thing. He had an e-bike, so he didn't have to do anything but freaking
I was
drive
gonna say
it.
you're paying for the labor, and now the
God.
dude's not
No,
even.
he's got an e-bike, so it was the whole thing. She was probably right in the long run, but I really didn't want to walk at that point. It was like 10 o'clock. I'm like, let's just get back. It's dark. We're downtown. I'm tired.
That's why it costs so much. The e-bike's like $5,000.
I mean, that's fine. And you give him a $10 tip, and you're $85 into it, and it's like, whatever.
That's awesome.
Can't take it with you. You might as well spend it.
I
Yeah,
laughed.
absolutely.
I laughed so hard though when I read that about your.
She
your
literally
daughter.
stood up and jumped off.
It's so funny.
That's too much money, Mom. We're not going on. And I'm like,
Stella's
yes, we are.
awesome.
Get back on.
Stella's awesome. That's great. Any good stories from either of you guys? Anything to top that?
I don't.
Nothing. I got nothing either.
Harley ride, pool, normal stuff.
Harley ride pool. You rode your Harley into the pool?
Nope, 2 separate instances.
You jumped the pool with the Harley. Got it.
That pool's going to come in good today, though, huh?
Oh, I'm
Holy
gonna love it
smokes,
the rest of
it's
this week.
Gross out.
Yeah,
Jeez.
I think
absolutely.
it's only supposed to be warm today and tomorrow.
Today and
right?
tomorrow's gonna be worse. Yeah.
me do a big ass stunt?
Jump it. Jump it. No?
No, probably
Water
not.
skip the Harley across
Yeah,
the pool?
come on.
Probably not.
For our YouTube channel.
Way
Do it for our
too much money
followers.
into
That would be
bike.
sweet.
Do
do
it for
it.
the Hey, Kyle, do you think we should do it for the followers? Yeah, Kyle's in. He'll be at your house. What time? 5:30? 5:30.
I'll do it with my mountain bike.
No. We want to see you jump it with the Harley.
Mountain bike.
I'm okay with either.
Okay, we'll start with the mountain bike, then we'll go to the Harley.
Oh wait, I lied. I do actually have a really funny story. So I took my kid to the new skate park in Lonsdale.
Yeah.
And the first time I just went there standing, right? And he's doing his thing on his scooter. And so he says, "Dad, what, are you too big of a wuss? You can't come out on the skate park with me." So
You got peer pressured by
made
a
me bring my-
5-year-old.
Yeah, he made me bring my mountain bike, right? So I'm
How old's your
just-
kid? 7?
7.
Yeah.
So I'm riding around the park and I'm going up and down the ramps and I'm like, oh, nobody's using this far one. I'm going to try it. So I go up the ramp and he's like, Dad, you're going to do the stairs? And by that time, I already looked down and there's 4 or 5 big ass stairs, you guys. And I'm on a mountain
You're
bike.
committed
and
at this point.
Dude, I almost ate it. The front tire went sideways and somehow still skipped. And I went down it and like all the kids were cheering and they're like, woo. And I was like, I had no idea that was going to happen.
Almost died.
It was pretty hilarious.
So we gonna jump the motorcycle when you get home?
No.
or- Obviously, we
I'm
already know you're
getting
a
anxiety
daredevil.
talking about the stairs.
I love that your kid called you out on it too. The stairs.
Like, you're gonna do the stairs, Dad, and everybody's looking at me. And I didn't know there were stairs there.
Well, now you're the cool dad.
Wow, it's very nice.
That's cool.
Yeah, my
At
wife.
least you made it down.
My wife was actually gonna follow me, and I was nice enough to tell her there are stairs on the other side, so she stopped.
I would have
didn't
liked
wanna
to
see
see
her.
Brooke attempt that one.
Bust her
You
face.
should have got the phone out and just let her go and start recording.
Oh man,
It was funny when it was said.
Nick and
and
his marriage advice over here. Let her do it.
Be the best Snapchat you ever sent.
Oh my god, it would have been. That's funny. I pre-registered for the Super Nationals, guys.
done. Nice.
And I'm taking that week off to be on the pit crew, so have fun.
No, you're not.
See ya.
You will not be taking that week off.
Is that in September?
Yeah, it's first week of September. Labor
Oh,
Day.
nice.
Labor Day that week. Guess how many cars are pre-registered? Don't say it because you know.
I already forgot.
Oh,
65.
47.
47.
how much?
65.
900.
Across all the different.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, for my division,
47.
150.
Really?
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Oh man.
Yeah. So I was joking with everybody because I told everybody the last time I went to this thing that I was never going back because I got spun out in every single race I was in all week long. Like it was just terrible. And I must have forgotten about it because now I'm like, we should go again. I signed up. So here goes nothing.
Should be
Super
fun.
National bound.
It's a lot of people going to that.
Yeah, I'm going to crash. I feel it. It's going to be terrible.
We'll
I
have
shouldn't
to,
go.
Decide here pretty quick on who's working from home on what days while he's gone.
Just do the same schedule we did last time.
Well, with only 4 days, though, we'll have to double up.
of lies.
It's not allowed.
I think I'm off the Friday before he leaves.
You are true.
And then Monday we're closed. So I'll have a nice 4-day weekend.
Yeah, work from home Tuesday, come back Wednesday.
There we go.
Oh,
Thanks,
wait,
Nick.
what? I don't like this very
We'll make
much.
some tea times for Tuesday and
Oh, man. Well,
employee appreciation day. At the
last
golf
week's
course.
episode kind of fits this because that was things that make you go, wow. You guys make me go, wow. But this week, I want to talk a little bit about our brand. I wanted to do an episode specifically on ShopSabre, talk a little bit about what makes ShopSabre different. And I think there's going to be a lot to be gained. It's not just about ShopSabre per se, but kind of what sets us apart. And it hopefully makes a lot of people listening think about what sets them apart from their competitors and their industry, because ultimately at the end of the day, customers have a lot of choices in today's world. I believe there's a lot of products to buy now. I think about when I was a kid, there was a lot less things to choose from. And it actually came up because I was thinking about like auto racing, and there's a lot of people right now talking about auto racing and how it's a dying sport right now. And I started to think about it, and it's really not a dying sport because of the sport itself. I mean, people come and they have a good time, but I think nowadays you have a lot of choices to make for entertainment. Back in the day, like there wasn't as much to do, so you went to the dirt track, you went to the racetrack, right? You went and hung out. But nowadays, like there's so many places, trying to buy your business and trying to get you to, come to their place. So whether you're going to the movie theaters now, or you're going mini golfing, or whatever you do with your family on the weekend, the racetrack isn't always top of the priority list, right? And so I kind of said like, racetracks can't continue to advertise like it's 1990 and expect to have results in today's world. You have to start to adapt to today's world and do things that drive business to you. You know, do things that entertain them and create a reason for them to want to come back. And I have found, you know, as an example, I don't know how many of you guys have watched the F1 on Netflix, the F1 documentary, like it's Drive to Success or.
I haven't seen that one.
Okay, it's actually really good. So like as a race fan, obviously I like it, but I was never into F1. But F1 came out with this documentary that kind of got people like into the behind the scenes of F1, right? The teams, you get to know the drivers, you see like the drama going on behind the scenes. And it actually was like a great marketing thing because it blew up the sport because people who had no interest in their racing now suddenly are following them. And the reason I know that is because like my stepbrother, he's into it now. Like he was never into racing ever. And now he like watches that because, and he's followed F1 a little bit more. And I've started to talk to, you know, I was talking to one of our marketing partners and one of the guys in there said him and his brother have been watching it and now they're hooked into F1. And it's really blown it up in the United States because historically there's so many forms of sports on TV. F1 wasn't one that people were tuning into. But now people have made a point of it because they've started to market to the point of like get people involved. And when people start to understand something and they can understand the behind the scenes, it tends to make you more involved with it, right?
And how much work actually goes into
Correct.
winning and being successful and getting
Correct.
out on the track every day.
And the same could be said for like, you know, anybody who's seen that documentary Quarterback, right? How many people watched that and then suddenly became Kirk Cousins fans, right? Or became Mahomes fans or, you know, Marcus Mariota fans. Not because of anything they did on the football field, but it's because of that, like you said, the behind the scenes, what they're putting in, what they're doing. Like, it really made people kind of gravitate towards them. And so that's what kind of made me go to where I am today. And what makes ShopSabre different, right? What makes people gravitate towards us? And, you know, to me, it's more than just what you see on the outside, right? It's not just the technology that, you know, obviously we have a lot of technology that makes you go, wow. We talked about that last week, right? There's a lot of things that when you think about it, we've had to adapt and help grow the industries. But, you know, I wanted to connect it more to ShopSabre itself and talk about what sets us apart from the rest of your options out there, right? Because again, kind of like the entertainment world, the options now out there are a lot more. There's a lot more products coming in from China and things like that that weren't there when we started. And so now there's more people trying to buy your business. But what sets ShopSabre apart? You know, what's your guys' thoughts? You know, when you start to think about that, like what sets ShopSabre apart from the rest of your options, you know?
I think the glaring one that I think of right away is how much video content I've created for our company.
You personally?
Yeah, me and Bob going to work and, you know, doing all these videos and releasing them every week like we did.
You sit on a throne of lies.
It's just a lot of work to get that much content out.
Yeah, it seems like it often.
Yeah, I have various responsibilities within the crew. You know, I'm kind of a jack of all trades, really.
But really, the video content,
Yeah.
you know, other companies don't have that, and then how much we manufacture in-house.
I think Nick just had a stroke. I watched him just,
Well, you pushed a button and everything went silent.
no.
I heard nothing for a while.
Nope.
I
Nothing
heard
went
it.
silent.
Oh, I did not hear it. I couldn't even hear you guys talking.
Awesome.
Weird, but
that guy.
that was it. We're good now, though. Sorry.
I've had that problem before, so I just know
I
how to
saw
fix
the
it.
look on Nick's face. He was like losing it. He started looking around. And I'm like,
I looked
is
at
Nick
Kyle,
here?
so it's like,
I'm like, is Nick
Anyways.
still here? Oh, that's
I
funny.
think for me to give you a serious answer, though, I think a lot of the real personal connections we make with the customers, like Chad and I met a guy last week that was here for training, and I think, what just he's throwing me off track again. But
Continue.
I think there's just a lot of people that still call in to be directed to
Yeah.
the right people just because they know that you'll get them there.
Yeah.
And you've talked to them.
For me, I'm thinking track record. We've been around for a long time. A lot of these
Yep.
other companies,
the history.
you just sit there and you're like, well, how long have you been in business? Oh, we just started this year. Okay, well, how can you really rate that company if they don't even have, let's say, even a couple hundred machines in the field where we've got, I think I just seen us post like close to 10,000 now.
Over 10,000 now.
Yeah.
I think it's funny that you say that because there's a lot of like these up and coming import companies that don't last. You know,
Yep.
they're always up and coming. Like if I had a number on that, I imagine it's gonna be pretty large. Of the number of companies that have popped up that somebody was like, oh, they're the new up and coming company, and they don't even last a year.
Yep.
A year later, they're not there. You know, and it's like I have found that. I've always said this to customers, and it sounds probably a little arrogant, but it's not meant to sound arrogant, but it's how can you trust a company when they still don't have a machine outside of warranty? Like you bought a product.
It's impossible.
Yeah, you're talking about a product that has never ran out of warranty yet. you want to invest in that future. Like, you don't know what it looks like. There's nobody out there that can speak for what it's like in 10 years. And I get it. Every company has to get a start somewhere, right? But to me, when you're doing that, like, it has to be a very different market. You know, starting in a production or professional environment with a product that way, that's tough sledding, you know? And, you know, really for me, and the reason I was giving you crap, Nick, is because you said it's the personal connections. It's because right on the paper in front of you was my answer, which was related to that. And so I just assumed you had stolen my answer, like Chad. But I had talked about, you know, my thoughts are the people themselves. You know, I've said that. The people that, you know, make ShopSabre what it is. You know, people are what make ShopSabre what it is, you know, in my opinion. Like, that's the most different thing about us, is that the culture that takes place inside these walls, right? Inside the walls of this building, there's a bunch of people that kind of, you know, are rock stars is the best way I can put it. You know, they make it happen here. And, you know, ShopSabre utilizes the talent around it to continue to grow. And I don't know if we just lost some talent or what just happened, but I heard a loud bang.
Some talent drop, some steel.
Yeah, something happened out there. I heard a loud bang. It's kind of funny because we all hear it, and I'm sure nobody on the podcast is hearing this. But, you know, nevertheless, the talent around us, though, really is what makes us different. It's the experience, as you said, Travis, right? We have a lot of experience over the years, and I think that's helped us get the talent, right? You learn from what you don't know, right? You start to realize, like, we're short in these areas. We need to get better in this area. And so you hire talent. You go out and find the talent you need. So I would say that, you know, you look at the engineering talent we have in this building. Right. I mean, Seth is I'm going to give a shout out to Seth, right? Seth he's, you know, a pretty incredible engineer. You know, he's on our engineering staff out there. He's one of our newest members. But he's a perfect example of, like, we wanted to get better, so we went out and found more talent, right? And Seth actually just prototyped out, well, I shouldn't say prototyped. He just developed a replica Toyota motor, and he 3D printed it. He drew it all out and then 3D printed it. And, like, it's a fully working Toyota motor that's on his desk. Like,
Why?
because why not? That's basically what he said. He's like, why not? He's like, I thought it was cool, so he made each individual part. He, you know, obviously drew the parts out based on what the motor specs were, and then he 3D printed each individual motor component in a, you know, scaled down version, and then assembled the motor, and it's literally just sitting. That was what he did for fun. Like, and it's got, like, a rotation, like, he can hook a motor up to it, like an electric motor, and it spins it, and it works.
That's crazy.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's, like, super awesome. But it's proof that, like, the talent that's around us, right? I couldn't do that. Like, I'm not going to pretend. Maybe I could go buy a file and put it into a 3D printer, right? But, like, for him to actually design something that way,
And get it to spin and
like,
work.
into work, have clearance on it, you know, the valves don't run into each other, the pistons don't hit the heads, like, it actually has real clearances based off of the actual engineering design, you know? And, you know, I get it. It's to some people it might not be that impressive, but to me it was like, you know, that's pretty cool, you know. And he's got one of an LS motor, and he's got, you know, some other stuff that he's done with them, and they're pretty slick little, you know, things, and it just shows his capabilities, right? And now he's starting to do a lot of prototyping for us, and you know, I just think about his capabilities there is just going to translate into our product, right, and into our company, and that's what sets us apart is people like that, right? Or you got Ben, you know, as an example, Ben in tech support. He's also in our R&D department now, and he's leading our R&D department. He recently got promoted to that, so congratulations to him. But it's pretty cool when you think about the experience Ben brings to this industry, right? 18 years of CNC experience, you know, in the tech support and development side, and the amount of things he's gone through over the years to make us a better company.
How many other companies can even approach having that type of experience with
Right.
the machines?
Right.
Probably not many at all, if any.
Very seldom.
Well, here's the thing that you can't. Anybody can go out and hire a guy with 18 years of experience. But he has 18 years of experience with this brand.
Yep.
The ins and outs of our brand. That, to me, is what you can't. You know, it's bringing somebody in with experience doesn't necessarily make them, you know, valuable, because if you have tons of experience but you don't know anything about that product, you're still green. You're still learning. You're still, like, he has 18 years he's probably forgotten more things than some people will learn, right?
Well, and how much has changed on the machine over the
Right.
18 years? What worked, what didn't?
Correct.
You know, the trial and error aspect of it.
Yeah, you know, it's that. It's not only, you know, for the customers, but for the employees themselves. Like, think of all the stuff he's been able to help improve to make everything easier on the, you know, even the employees that have to build these machines. as a company, like I said, we were founded out of necessity, right? JB, right? Started this thing out of home garage. Told me I'm building CNC machines, whether I like it or not. It's pretty, it's pretty humbling when you think about where we got our start. Like I said, my dad, Jim, he's smart. I mean, he knows this stuff, and it started out of necessity. It wasn't like my dad one day was like, "Hey, we're gonna become a CNC manufacturer." Like that was never his intention. His intention was to build a machine because he needed one. And then it turned into a business because people needed machines that were better than what was out there. And, he came up with a solution for a problem he was having, right? And you think of how many CNC companies in today's world, they're not becoming a CNC manufacturer out of necessity anymore. They're becoming a CNC manufacturer or reseller in many cases for profitability. They're not doing it because they're solving a problem on the market. I mean, there's a lot of CNC manufacturers out there now. They're doing it because they see a way they can make money. Somebody sees a way to make some profits.
And that's why I feel like, at least to me, in my opinion, that's why the new companies are the ones that pop up are always seem to be like they're reselling machines. Doesn't seem like there's new, like American-made companies popping up.
No.
Well, it's hard. I think it's hard to vertically integrate, at the level we have built to. Mm-hmm. To take on a true American-made company nowadays, like it's hard to get to that level. And yeah, it's easy. I mean, a lot of people aren't willing to put in the work. I mean, it's many, many, many years of development to get to that American-made, side of things. But it's easy to go overseas and just buy a product and put your name on it.
Especially when you see so many other people doing it.
Yep.
Yeah. Many products in the market today are born out of demand, not necessity, right? Supply and demand. And that, it's not just CNC machines, but just products in general. They're built out of demand. People want to, want something. So you want, you remember the crazy, it was a fad, I would say, of like scooters. Do you remember that?
I thought you were going to say Beanie Babies.
Beanie Babies, yeah. There's tons of Beanie
I
Babies.
still got all my Beanie Babies.
I'm thinking about the fad that came about from scooters. Do you remember that?
Like the razors?
Nope. Like the motorized scooters. There was like a scooter fad where like people were buying these scooters and then reselling them for a while. And like they were just like knockoff Chinese scooters and ATVs and like this. Do you remember that?
I know what you're talking about. There's a specific name or
yeah,
style
exactly.
for them.
Yes.
They've got like a long body on
Correct.
them, and I forget what.
Still see people riding around. They're like
Yes,
street legal.
you see them all
Correct.
the time.
Like
yeah,
Vespas.
yeah,
Kind of, but
Yeah.
I forget the brand.
exactly. But you know what I'm talking about. But it became a fad.
Yep.
Yep.
And out of demand, people wanted these scooters. Suddenly there was 10 places you could buy them from. Because people all saw like, oh, people are buying them. Why not for me? I'll buy not for me. And they blew up and then they saturated the market and they disappeared. Because then realized nobody's buying scooters anymore.
Yep.
Like it just went away. And then it turned into the mini bikes. Remember that? The little mini bikes, what do they call them? The pocket rockets, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Remember that? The little little micro
Yeah.
crotch rockets.
Yep.
And they
Like the old mini choppers.
yeah.
I used to ride around one of those. Those
Yeah.
were fun.
But you know what I'm talking about? Blew up, right? Everybody had to have one, and now you don't see them all anymore.
No.
Yeah.
Like, and then it turned into what the heck were they? Those 3-wheeler, the big wheels, the trikes.
Oh,
you know what I'm
the
talking
drift trikes.
about? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was the next thing, and
You're
then
right.
they disappeared.
Yep.
And it's that same crazy fad that happens, right? In these out of demand, these importers just saturate the market and disappears. CNC is a little different because the demand doesn't disappear because it's not a hobby thing. People are using it for business.
Yep.
So it's a different, it's a different industry, but you see the same thing happening where the importers happen like crazy and then they disappear because it's just not sustainable. The only ones that sustain themselves is companies that have vertically integrated to be able to support things. And I think that, as you're looking at your business right now and listening to us talk and what sets us apart, think about your business, sign makers, cabinet makers. Like, it's the same thing in your industries, I'm sure. Being a quality cabinet maker, a quality sign maker is a lot harder than importing signs or, cabinets from somewhere else and then just selling them to people.
Yep.
The resellers don't tend to last as long, right?
Correct.
The custom fabricators are the ones that last because you can support your product, you can do a lot more with it. The quality that you're producing is much higher. And so that's what I kind of think about is that, it's that we were born out of necessity, not demand, where a lot of people are born out of demand, not necessity. And, the benefit of most products is it isn't truly for the, the end user, if you will, right? The product is built for the manufacturer. or built for the reseller, like built for profit. But the company's making huge margins, but the product is just, really low quality. And I think that's what sets us apart, here at ShopSabre is our product is built to improve problems, right? Somebody has an issue, Fave 3, right? It improves something because it hasn't existed. It's better for the customer experience. It's better for the use of the owner, right? Whoever owns our product is going to see a gain long term. We're not a quick sell you something today and it's going to be gone tomorrow kind of company. We're a company that our intention is to support it for a long period of time, right? A long time coming. And that's why we give you lifetime support. So to me, it's all about the ShopSabre advantage, right? And in fact, we have a video that I encourage everyone listening right now to go check out if you haven't seen it yet. It's called the ShopSabre Advantage, actually. The video is called that. And this video, it actually can be found on our website under the education section. In fact, maybe I'll have Kyle. Kyle, can you post that this week, the ShopSabre Advantage video? Maybe we can just post that so people can, follow us on our MySpace page and they can see that video. That sound fair?
I remember that video.
Yeah. But you created it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, figured so.
On a Sunday.
On a Sunday. Now I know it's a lie. In the video, we discuss and showcase ShopSabre as a company, right? And a lot of the advantages we bring to the industry. And I think it really sets us apart from our competition as you start to watch it because it's stuff that you can't fake. Stuff you can pretend to do a lot of things, but to be the company we are, you can't fake. Your guys' thoughts? What are your thoughts on that ShopSabre Advantage?
I think for me, I just saw you reference it here, so I watched it this morning in preparation for this.
Yeah.
But I think to me, the biggest thing that it showed was that you don't cut corners with the parts and the way that they build things and put things together. That was the biggest thing for me. To hear Bob talk about the other options for certain parts of the machine that you could use for,
Correct.
Cheaper or whatever that.
For profit.
But we use the step up, the next thing up.
Correct.
From that to make sure that it's a properly functioning machine.
I would say, an advantage just in general is that if something were to have an issue, we can actually engineer and fix it.
Yeah.
Where if you're importing a product, you're at the mercy of whoever's manufacturing it. Whether they think it's worth their change or not, they probably just going to keep giving you the same product.
Well, that's where I think we really win is that we have Seth and his team and the people like Seth out there. And we don't get to that point. We don't ship a bunch of products with an engineering flaw in it.
Yep.
Because we have a team here that's their job, right? Where import products don't always do that, right? They mass produce products, and when they find something, they realize they have to do a revision or a change, right? And then they just start mass producing the revision. But they're not worried about that sometimes that's where machines come over and there's products that come over and they have inherently obvious issues, and you're like, how did that ever make it to the market? But it's because they didn't care. They just mass produced from a reseller standpoint, right? We're going to build them. The reseller buys a bunch of them, and then they sell them. It's not our problem. We're a manufacturer. We don't sell to consumers. Where ShopSabre, we sell to the consumer. It matters to us because we hear the feedback from our customers. We know that they're going to be calling us for that lifetime support. There's a different level of care there. But when you're just selling for one customer of yours, right? I'm selling 1 billion of these toys to Toys R Us, right? Toys R Us is my consumer. I don't care about the end user. I only care about Toys R Us buying a million of these gadgets, right?
Yep.
That makes sense.
The video I mentioned, the ShopSabre Advantage does a great job of laying it all out, in my opinion. Like that from an engineering capabilities that we do have, it shows some of that, and it goes to the drive technology that we use and talks about the different technologies there, and goes through the various little things that we do to package everything together, right? And it makes our product, in my opinion, truly unbeatable. I mean, if you are willing to invest in a product without doing research, I mean, there's a good chance you're going to get tricked into buying something, right? We've seen that how many times? People get tricked into buying things because they see a price tag.
Yep.
Every time I buy something on Amazon, it's always the wrong size. I need a baking sheet. It comes, it's like 12 by 12. It's like, I want a normal size one.
Because you didn't want to drive 2 miles to Target?
Correct.
I'm the same way, though, honestly. I hate driving to the store.
Yeah,
I hate it.
And it
Well,
seems like every time you buy something off of there, like kitchen-wise, for me anyways, it's always the wrong size.
It is. You're 100% right.
It's like, oh yeah, you're getting this, and shows up and it's like a little 8-ounce measuring cup and silver.
I did that with a measuring cup at the opposite. It was massive. And I'm like, what am I going to do with this stupid thing? And we still have it, but now I use it for pool chemicals because it didn't work for the kitchen.
I didn't want to go to the store to get oil for my race car. And I was like, well, I don't really need it till next weekend. So I ordered oil off Amazon. I ordered the exact oil I needed off Amazon. Lo and behold, it came in I saw a case of it. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's a good price. Ordered it. It was 6 quarts. 6 quarts of oil showed up. I'm like, it's not even enough oil to do an oil change. What is the point of a 6-quart case? Like, I can't even finish the oil change. Like, I was so mad when it showed up. I was like, well, that failed. So now I knew I had to order 2 of those cases to get to what I needed to do, you know, and then I have a little extra oil. But then at that point, now I could order 1 more case, and it's just a vicious cycle at that point. But it's all because I didn't want to drive to the store. I mean, it's not that big of a, it's not that far of a drive. It's just the convenience of being able to order it while I'm sitting on the couch because I don't need it till 2-3 days later. You know?
That's when you think about it.
Correct.
You know.
Yeah, you just sit there thinking, and I need to order that. And I do it just like you said. It shows up and it's not right.
But the thing
So
for me
bad.
is like I'm already paying for Amazon Prime, so I might as well get the free shipping on all my items. Same with Target.
Yeah, but it's not even free anymore. That's what sucks.
A lot of stuff is.
No, the price is more.
Well,
You're
I
just
mean,
paying for it
yeah, that's
on
probably
Amazon
true.
now. Amazon raised their price. So like if I actually shop on Amazon and then I just go look at the part directly, like it's the cost of shipping different. Like I'm just paying for it. And I still order off Amazon.
It's convenience.
It's convenience. That's exactly it.
Especially for some of that, like small items. those
You know
little
why I
things.
like buying from Amazon? I know I'm not getting scammed. Like when I buy from some websites, I'm like, I don't know if this is a trustworthy website. I just
Correct.
know that Amazon's going to send me something. It might not be right, but it's going to be something, you know? Like I'm going to get something for my money.
Mine is order it as it comes up. Like I'm not going to create a list of 7 things that I need next time I go to the store.
Right.
It's like, oh, I need a new baking sheet. I'm going to order one.
Yep.
And then I order one and it shows up and it's wrong. So
Well,
then I
that's-
order another one.
And that's the problem is cheaper products in general, they do a great job of manipulating the buyer. And that's what cheap products do, right? They manipulate the buyer to believing that you're getting the same thing as the more expensive stuff.
Like you see it on the website and it looks large, and then you go see it in person at AWFS and it's not as big as it looked.
Yeah, and I think that's what sets us apart though is, the proof stands behind our reputation, right? And our customer satisfaction. As you talked about, Travis, years of proof that this works.
Yep.
But you guys, you 2 are very, very savvy people in this industry. You understand the technology really well, and you do a good job helping your customers. But you saw some of the competitors' machines for the first time in person and actually laid your hands on machines that were competitors. And like you just said, Chad, like the first thing you said is like, man, the machine is so tiny. Like you can see the difference now. Like that's where they cut the corners. It's not the same level of machine. It's not the same quality level, And ShopSabre's real advantage is that the consumers, are going to get their purchase that's backed by by people that are, going to care in this industry. And again, I encourage everybody listening, go to our website, read true customer statements and posts by our customers. Like our testimonial section is real people talking about our equipment. And I think it says a lot about who we are. It's our reputation. And like I say to everybody, like you can't satisfy 100% of people. I understand that. Like, okay, I'm not saying that every company out there that has a bad review is a bad product, right? No matter what, you can't make everybody happy. So even you listening to this, if you have a cabinet business or a sign business or whatever, and you're like, well, I got some bad reviews that I don't want to use it. Like that makes you real. You're always gonna have somebody that's upset at you, right? But if you have more good than bad, that usually says a lot about your product, right?
Correct.
And that's kind of where I go to, you got the pretenders, and then you got ShopSabre. And years ago, I realized there are a lot of people being tricked into buying overseas cheaper equipment.
Yep.
And then months later, realizing they made mistakes, right?
For sure.
It's something that I've seen. And one of the biggest forms of business for us is replacing other people's equipment. I mean, we get more customers calling us not to buy their first machine ever, but to actually buy a replacement to a product they had bought previously. Would you guys say that's pretty accurate?
Yeah, and it's unfortunate
Absolutely.
for the customer.
Some of them are actually embarrassed to even tell me what they own. It's like, hey, man, I'm just trying to figure out what difference in technology.
And I think that just comes from the world of like, we've gotten so used to getting beat up by everybody that they think they're gonna get, like, ridiculed over the fact they bought something else. But it's like you said, I don't really care what you bought.
Right.
I just want to know what you bought, so then I can tell you what's different about us.
Exactly.
And more importantly, I always try to ask the customer, what are you trying to gain from your purchase? Because you own a machine, so what are you trying to gain from this purchase?
Yep.
And they usually will say, well, I don't like this about the machine, or I don't like that, or then I can at least like talk to them about that. Okay, this is what you're going to see different, or in some cases, what their expectations are unrealistic, right? Well, I want a machine that can do it. Like, no machine does that way. Like, you're just asking for something that it physically can't do that. I'd rather be honest with you than you buy my machine and be disappointed as well. But a lot of times I've found that it's years prior they bought something from a price point, right? And then due to lack of support or lack of parts or performance issues, they are replacing a piece of equipment. And they've found us. And that's exactly where our kind of phrase came from, to be honest with you. You've probably seen it on our website, but it says, buy your second machine the first time. And that statement came from many years ago. That's when I came up with the buy your second machine the first time, is because it wasn't a marketing ploy. Yeah, it's great for marketing, don't get me wrong, but it was a true experience that I was actually dealing with like every single day for a long time. I was getting calls from people like they had bought other products and were really pissed off about the customer service they were getting or the lack of cutting capabilities. And after I'd start educating people on like why they're having the issues, they'd start to realize like, I wish I would have known this all before I bought my first machine. And that's kind of where I came up with the idea of when I started going up against some of these import products and customers were like, well, yeah, they're going to save me $5,000. Buy your second machine the first time. Yes, you're going to save $5,000 with them, but you're going to end up having to buy a second machine. And it will cost you more money in the long run by having to buy two machines in a short amount of time. So just buy your second machine the first time.
Yep.
And that's what it really came from. It wasn't a marketing. It was a, think about this factually. Do you want to have to replace this product in a few years? I hate replacing stuff after a few years.
Well, it's a few $1,000s you're going to spend on that crummy machine that you could have put towards a good one right away.
Right. And again, sometimes just simply educating yourself can help you determine what's best for you. And like I said, if you look at the facts, you'll find yourself, spending less money in the long run. And rather than choosing a lesser product, right? I mean, nobody wants to own a lesser product, but it's such an impactful statement, that even, I'll say this, it's such an impactful statement, buying your second machine the first time because it's just based off the facts. But what I think is funny is now I've seen some importing companies take our phrase. Have you guys seen that?
I haven't.
Yeah, we got a competitor out there that they're known for importing, equipment.
A
And
CNC competitor?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
really?
They twisted it a little bit to make it appear unique. And I laughed because I'm like, I've been using this phrase for 10 years. And again, it's just them trying to trick the consumer just like they typically do. But it's now they have, it's like buy the right machine the first time or something is what they say. And it just makes me laugh because I'm like, it's the same thing as buy your second machine the first time. But you've just changed a word to try to make it look like, look at us. We came up with our own marketing. We're so smart. Like, just like your CNC machines. You have taken somebody else's design and put your name on it. Like, good job. But, it's the same statement. But I just think it's funny. And I find it funny because they're trying to piggyback off American company success, right?
Yep.
We've had success building products and being successful with building and supporting products. These Chinese companies and these import products, they build knockoffs of the American products, and then they try to sell them to the consumer at mass quantity, right? Just to saturate the market. Because they don't really care about the long term. They just want to get to your sale today. And, that's kind of where I think it's funny. Like, by using a word like buy the right machine. Like, buy the right machine? Like, what does that even mean? Because the right machine can be different for every single person. So you're not really saying anything there. Like, to me, buying your second machine the first time means like, don't buy a cheap machine first, buy the second one the first time, right? So I just think it's kind of funny. However, instead of upgrading their manufacturing and building a better product, they just continue to bring in lower quality technology and just upgraded their marketing. More people will see us. They'll think we're great. This is good. Change the color. Let's change the color on it. They'll think it's a different machine. That's not improving anything. But now we have capitalized our logo. I don't know. Just to me, it makes me laugh, But, in the end, using our marketing doesn't make a product better, right? Chinese products are still Chinese products, and the real advantage of ShopSabre is that it is built here in the United States with the methods and technology that we have commonly used and been known for, but also the people again. It goes back to who we are. It's not just about the technology. It's about the people and the way we do things. You can't copy that. You simply don't get the same product from an overseas vendor. You're just not going to get it. Like, I will 100% guarantee you, no machine out there for the price point of what we sell for is going to give you the same value as what we can give you.
I agree.
I agree.
Long term, the value is going to fall off. I don't care. They might be great for 30 days. They might be great for 6 months. Eventually, it falls off with an import product.
Yep.
Every single time.
Correct.
You know, you don't get the same value with alternative products even. When you look at, you know, how many times have you seen that where you, instead of buying, you know, a product that you're used to using, you use an alternative product because it's cheaper. You know, and it's like, you just don't get the same results.
Like Mr. Pibb and Dr. Pepper.
It's just the same.
Mr. Pibb is better.
No.
It's better.
Dr. Pepper is always the best.
Nope. Just like Powerade Zero is better than regular Powerade.
False.
We used to always get the cheap Coke growing up,
Yep.
like the Shasta, whatever.
Shasta, yeah.
Oh,
Dude,
we used to get that too.
something about Shasta, though. That stuff was good, man.
Well, I mean,
They still sell it at Coburn's.
I know they do.
Really?
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, they do.
I miss the Shasta grape.
You know what I miss? It was a green can.
it's called like Lemon Twist.
Yeah.
Nope.
Surge?
Surge.
Mountain Mist.
No, Surge.
Remember when that came back to Quick Trip like a year or two ago?
Yeah.
Had it for a while.
Became
yeah.
a huge hit again. They had it
Yep.
at
And then it just went-
Casey's.
And then disappeared again.
And it just went away.
Yeah.
It's like a hype stuff. It's just like a scooter.
Yeah.
Scooters were here and then they're gone.
It's like the McRib.
The McRib. Where is the McRib?
Oh, that's funny.
I've never had one.
I've had a couple. They're okay.
I've never had a McRib.
I think I had
Me
one
either.
before.
No chance.
There was nothing about it that was like, I want to try that.
Kind of reminded me of the
But you
stuff
know what I
that you
do
get in
like?
school.
While we're talking about McDonald's, you know what I really do like?
The Shamrock Shake.
Dude, for real.
No,
That's
is that,
where I was
was that
going.
it?
That's where I was going.
Shamrock shakes are the bomb.
You took away.
And that is how it's done.
You took away my phrase. That's exactly. The Shamrock Shake is the bomb.
Yeah.
I will drive there just for that.
Mint flavored anything is gross.
Bite your tongue right now.
No, that hurts.
I bit my tongue last night eating ice cream. It hurts.
What?
Yeah.
How do you bite your tongue eating ice cream?
I don't want to talk about it.
mouth must have went numb.
I was eating it so fast, my
Pounding it
tongue,
down.
my tongue went numb, and I didn't know where it was. I chewed on it. It hurt. Nevertheless, let's get off that subject. No, but yeah, in all seriousness, though, Shamrock Shake is where I was going.
That's funny.
But, you know, what's your guys' thoughts and opinion about what we were talking about before we got on Shamrock Shakes? But, you know, on the value of alternative products versus, you know, ShopSabre products or, you know, in general, what we bring to the market versus an alternative or generic.
We bring the best value in the industry,
I agree with that statement. I like that statement.
not the cheapest.
But why? But why do you
Because
think that is? Like, honestly, let's dive into a few seconds between you guys. You know, what do you guys feel like if I was a consumer and I'm sitting here in front of you right now and I say, what sets you apart from everybody else? Why are you worth more than the alternatives?
our MySpace page?
The MySpace page.
No.
Because every time you call here or reach out, you're going to talk to a real person that cares about what you're calling about, and it's going to get you the help or get you somebody that can help you the proper way.
Absolutely.
Get you taken care of.
I would say when we're talking about components specifically, we're buying usually always name brand components, something that is going to be backed.
Yeah.
Where you could buy. I've seen some people that use these like visual eyes, for if you will, for like recognizing lines with other machines, and there's nobody that backs that product. I mean,
Yep.
you're on your own.
It's beta tested.
It's one of those things that it might work for you, it might not. It's got to be you got to be just willing to throw away the money, knowing that it may or may not work for you.
Right.
With our products, you're going to get a product that's being sold to you that's a quality product, and as us in the sales team, we only sell you what you really need. So you're not buying things that you're going to just say, well, it'd
Yeah.
be nice to have. No, you're going to actually use it.
How many times have we released a product that's in beta testing, do you think, and actually like sent it out in the field in beta test?
In beta?
Yeah.
None.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I don't think ever.
Exactly. Like
That's a trick question.
It was a trick. It was a trick question because I wanted like to think about it because there's so many companies out there that's what they do. They ship out something that's new, right? Because they want the publicity of it. They want you to buy from them because of this. It's new, but it's not tested. It doesn't work yet. And that's like with us, the Fave 3, right? The Fave 3's been ready for, I mean, how long have you guys watched the Fave 3 run in our shop now that we can actually talk about it?
It's been almost a year or more, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been over a year. I know that for a fact because the date that we launched it was over a year ago. And
Well, I just found out about the R&D room probably 4 months ago, so I'm a little late to the party. I've walked by it 1,000 times, but
Yep.
never looked in there.
yep, it's kind of funny though because it's true. Like we have a whole R&D room, but yeah, a lot of people don't know it exists.
I've
But
worked here
the only
for-
reason you noticed it now is because we took the shade off the window. It
No,
was so-
someone told me about it.
Oh, really?
The shade is why I walked by it.
Yeah.
But I would continue to walk by it. Someone told me,
Yeah.
like, oh, Ben's in the R&D room. I'm like, okay, where's that?
Well, good news. I've been here 7 years, and you just told me. I know what room you're talking about now, but I didn't know that's what it was.
Yeah. But I mean, it's kind of, but again, it's one of those things where it's existed. This is how we do things.
Yep.
And we've been working on the Fave 3 for over a year. Would it have been easier a year ago to release that and been like, look at this new option? Absolutely. But it wasn't working right. Do I want machines in the field that aren't working? No. So we worked on it and we perfected it, and we've gone through it, and I can't tell you how many revisions we did of it to make sure we got things right and thought out before we launched it. And when we went to AWFS, we went with a product we knew was right.
Yep.
And that we could be proud of.
Smart.
And that's who we are as a company.
That's probably why it ran for 4 days flawlessly, huh?
Straight. 4 days straight, flawlessly.
But that's also the difference between us and, let's say, an importer comes out with something similar. They're just going to send it out and good luck. With us,
Yep.
we know we have to support it.
Yep.
So we know it would have made a headache for us if we didn't get it perfected.
Well, I feel like we work towards the phrase industry standard.
Yep.
I want to be industry standard. I don't want to be a knockoff. I don't want to be something that's low quality. Like, I want to be industry standard. And over the course of 2 decades, ShopSabre's made a point of it to vertically integrate its facility to be able to produce better machines. I mean, that's what we've done. Using better technology backed by industry top support. We have hired some of the most talented people that we can hire. And we do it because we want them to help us develop a better product, but also back our product. We want our customers calling us up on the phone and knowing that they got somebody who knows what the heck they're talking about.
Yep.
Not just reading from a manual.
And that's what I was going to say at the last, thought opinion part was our frames and gantry and uprights and how we build just the frame of the machine is much better than
The foundation of the machine is the most
huge.
important part of it.
You don't want harmonics, you don't want deflection, and
Yeah.
with our giant uprights and gantry and huge frames,
Thank you.
that's what she said.
But you're right. Without it, you're simply getting less machine.
And we clearly saw that at the show.
Right.
So
Sure.
I mean, it's glaringly obvious if you can get in front of our machine versus somebody else's, and
You see it.
you see it, and
Yeah.
that's what impresses me the most is the guys welding up these huge frames and gantries and
Yeah.
doing
And
the hard work.
That's a good point because what do they say? You can put lipstick on a pig, right? That's the phrase. But basically what that, in the real business world is you can use name brand components and still try to make it look like it's a better machine than it is. Right? I mean, guys can put HSD spindles on on anything, right? They can put on name brand motors on anything. But if the frame is not worth a damn, the machine's still going to be only as good as the engineering behind the base of the machine. Like, again, I could have a 70-inch, flat screen smart TV and have all this cool technology in my house, but if my house doesn't have a foundation that's worth it, it's eventually that building's going to fall down. And I think that's something you have to take into consideration is that the engineering from the structure up matters, right? You have to start with the base. Nothing else. I don't care if they have the same spindle or the same motor or this or that. That doesn't make them the same machine.
Or they move at similar speeds. Like
Correct.
No one's racing CNC machines. I remember you hearing you say
Yeah.
that constantly.
Yeah. I used to tell people that all the time because, their machine can go 400 inches a minute faster than yours. Cool. Are you doing like underground racing of your CNC machine or what are you doing? Dorado.
I remember that a lot from when I first started here.
I used to say it all the time to people. I was
What,
like,
you gonna be
you-
racing
I'm
these
like, are you drag
underground?
racing this thing underground or what? Like, you don't make money in the air drag racing around. Like, put the bit in the material and start cutting. I'll bet you I can outcut them. Like, that's where you start to see the difference is the harmonics and the stuff we do makes your machine cut better and therefore cut faster. And therefore, we get more done in less time.
Rapid in 3,000 inches a minute doesn't matter if you can only cut at 600.
Correct. And that's exactly it. But they use it for marketing.
Yep.
Well, our machine goes 3,000 inches a minute. And I've seen it so many times. I have a customer of ours that owns a very reputable import machine, okay? One that you guys go up against quite often. He bought their machine because it was faster than our machine. They advertised 2,500 inches a minute. We advertised 2,100 inches a minute. He bought their machine first. He now owns a ShopSabre. He openly said that he bought, and he actually ended up buying a ShopSabre Pro series, so it went 1,200 inches a minute instead of 2,100. He ended up buying the Pro, and his Pro machine starts after his other machine and finishes before that machine. Yet that machine supposedly goes 2.5 times faster than our machine. He's like, the machine just isn't capable. It can't cut at the same speeds as you guys can. So, yeah, well, if I move in a straight line, it's super impressive looking. Well, as soon as I start cutting, it's slower than heck. And that's, that's the thing is we saw this at the show. We had customers coming up to us talking to us like they're cutting in a single pass at 300 inches a minute. And we were laughing because we're like, yeah, we do that same cut 900 inches a minute. But our machine technically was slower than that other machine. It's not always about the speed of the motors and some of that. It's sometimes about the harmonics and the stability of the machine. Like you said, the frame, the uprights, things like that is where we truly set ourselves apart. ShopSabre's worked very hard to become one of the industry standards in CNC technology. And at a sub $100,000 price point, I'm willing to say that our current developments, R&D, and experience is second to none. You simply invest in less when you're looking at any import product or really any product of equal price of ours or less. So right now I want to tell everybody that it's a great time to start thinking about and reinvesting yourself in the U.S. and building your products the way it is, because if you're looking at your business, I've just told you what sets us apart. But I want everybody who's been listening to us today to think what sets you apart from your competition and start making yourself better. And that might be CNC technology. It might be time to invest in better equipment and tools to give yourself an advantage because we're approaching the end of the year here and Section 179 is in full force, and at the end of the year, it may not be available. And if you don't start ordering equipment now to get it in your building, you're going to run short on being able to take advantage of some huge tax incentives.
Yep.
Right?
And low lead times, those are going to start to grow as we get
They already
into
have
that.
started to grow. Since the show, we've started to see record increases, and I can say that lead times are growing right now. I mean, we're still at pretty low, historically low lead time still. I mean, fortunately, we're still running 2 to 6 weeks right now, but it was 2 to 4 weeks. So the thing is with some of the models and some of the higher, production builds, the lead times are growing a little bit. You don't want to end up looking in December and then it's a 6-week lead time and you can't get something.
Right.
You need to start thinking about it now. Because I anticipated, our backlog is going to grow before the end of the year because people are going to need to start spending money for tax. So it's time. You guys have some good deals.
Yep.
Yeah, you got some good deals going right now. We got some really good stuff happening. We got our MySpace up and kicking yet? No?
Kyle said this week it should be up.
Getting our MySpace up this week?
Yeah.
I'll do a video on how to start on MySpace.
You and Bob?
Me and old router Bob.
You guys are going to do MySpace videos? It's going to be good. Can't wait. Yep, and then the new ShopSabre Minute. We just, that's actually a real topic instead of our MySpace account that doesn't exist. But we got a new ShopSabre Minute that's going to be going live within the next 24 hours, is my understanding, right? And it's going to be on the Fave 3. So we're excited about that. Bob and Sean.
Who's the new Meet the Team?
I don't know who our next one is yet, to be honest with you. TBD. To be determined.
For the record,
Might be you, Chad.
I vote Travis.
Chad. The next Meet the Team is Chad. Chad will be on
needs
it.
to meet me. Everyone knows me.
We're going to do it. We're going to meet the team.
I've been on so many
You're so
videos
good at your
already.
videos, we're going to get you on video. So there it is.
No,
Your
I'm-
next Meet the Team is Chad Wilson.
I'm a producer.
You are now. Hey, remember how I said people like to learn behind the scenes, the F1 stuff? We're going to have to learn behind the scenes of the producer, Chad Wilson.
Basically the face of the just kidding.
You guys are gonna meet the face of our company, Chad Wilson. This is gonna be great, Chad.
and just to clarify, we do have some. Well, I should say a coworker that for some reason thought our new machine edition was called the Fav 3. Just wanted to clarify, it's the Fave 3. So everybody's clear on that. If you hear somebody call it the Fav 3, it's definitely called the Fave 3.
Oh man, who could that person be?
We won't mention any names.
I bet I could already guess it.
She's not in the office very often.
I like how he just said she's not in the office. I was trying to find the horse, but I can't find the horse music anymore.
We already all knew.
I was trying to find
exactly
it, but I
what
think
was
they
going
they
on.
deleted the horse off of here. I don't see the horse at all on here. I'm really disappointed. Oh no, here it is.
Will not confirm nor deny. That's who I'm talking about.
Yeah, it is.
We'll see if she's listening. And
Brianna.
Good inside joke.
when she decides to listen to this in a couple months, she'll be like, "Hey, remember that time you called me?"
She
out
won't.
for-" Yeah, she won't.
She's not gonna listen to it until I tell her to listen to it. Say, hey, you should check out the podcast episode around 54 minutes. But yeah, you know what? With that, like I said, hopefully today you picked up a lot of, good knowledge and you thought about really what sets ShopSabre apart. And it really makes you think about, why haven't I given ShopSabre a chance yet? Why am I not considering them? Give us a shout. You got nothing to lose. We'd love the opportunity to earn your business. And again, the people here are really what makes this happen. And I think everybody within our organization deserves the opportunity to earn your business. 3
of the best sales guys in the industry.
That's really confusing since there's 4 of them. But we'll have to figure out.
Micah. He's not even in here to fend for himself.
That's funny. 3 of the best. I love doing that to people. Just throwing out a random number that's 1 less than everybody. So you're trying to figure out who they're talking about.
Chad looked directly at me. I knew who he meant.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I knew he was talking about you too. Oh, that was good. But no, with that, I'm Brandon.
I'm Chad.
I'm Travis.
I'm Nick.
Thanks for talking shop with ShopSabre.